Welcome to Conscious Coupling, where Frederick Gobet and Christy Whitman share their experiences of creating a conscious, connected relationship. Every week, they give practical tools, steps, and processes to help you find the loving connection with your partner. Let's get into today's conversation with Frederick and Christy.
You need to understand how I feel. How come you're not angry like I am? That's what I actually used to get, actually. Hello, everyone. I'm Christy Whitman.
And I'm Frederick Gobet.
Welcome to Conscious Connected Coupling Podcast. So we used to have that in our relationship where I would get angry about something or I'd be frustrated. There was a situation that happened. Maybe it was my family or his family or friends or something. And a situation would come up and I would explain the situation and he would, listen to me and
be there with her,
receive the information, and of course be supportive and everything. But I would be like fuming angry, or I would be frustrated, or I would, feel what I was feeling, and I would look at him and he would just be like, yeah, I get that. That sucks. And I'd be like, how can you not be angry? Because I wanted him to feel what I was feeling. And here's the deal. You could have the same exact situation, two totally different people, man, woman, very different. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. It is true from John Gray. We process differently. But not only that, it's like you could have two different women, you have women in a couple and have the same situation, and both could be feeling and processing it differently. We in a couple cannot expect our partners to feel what we are feeling, because we are our own containment. We have our own thought processes. We have our own feelings that, are based on just even our past and our past programming and how we process that energy. And to have him, I don't think I've ever seen you angry like I used to get angry. You've gotten angry a couple times, and he processes anger and feels anger differently than I do.
Yeah, and when she would get angry, all that I would tend to do was trying to solve that anger somehow. How do I make that anger disappear?
How can I extinguish it?
Yeah. Hose wasn't big enough.
How can I make her stop feeling anger?
So that's not going to work either.
Right.
And so until I realized the language also of, I hear that you're frustrated. So that also had to be learned, where I don't need to share that emotion with her, and I don't need to do the opposite of trying to stop her from her feeling that emotion, but I can understand where she's at.
Well, in the same way, it's like you fully can't understand where I was at. You couldn't fully understand the extent of why I was angry. My mom was telling me a situation the other night where my dad got upset because an Uber driver or Lyft driver or whatever didn't come and pick him up on time. And so he was frustrated, and he was really, really frustrated. And he was saying to her, how come you're so relaxed about this? How come you're not frustrated? And she's like, because I'm not. And it's like, we as humans have learned, at least I can speak for myself, that you need to get as angry as your partner. And so that was my expectation for my partner, is that if I'm feeling this anger, you need to validate that anger. You need to validate how I'm feeling. And I used to watch my mom say, I'm feeling this. Don't you think it's okay? And she would take a survey of all of her friends, including me, saying, don't you think that was wrong and that I should feel this way? And it was like, let's take a survey. Okay, so everybody thinks I should feel angry. Now it's okay to feel angry. As long as everybody's validating that I'm justified or right in this, now I can feel my feelings. Feelings are just feelings. I remember as a young kid, when I was growing up, I had a CCD, I was in Catholic school. I had an instructor tell me that feelings are feelings, and they're not right or wrong. And when I heard that, that completely changed my life. I think I was in 7th or 8th grade, and I was like, wow, because I remember saying my feelings and my mom would tell me, well, that's wrong, or don't be an idiot, or don't be so sensitive, or, you know, don't be that, or don't feel that. And it was like, no, Mom, they're not wrong. Feelings are feelings. And so in the same respect, it's like if I'm feeling a whoosh of anger about something, someone crossed a boundary, or I didn't get what I want, or whatever was happening, right? I can feel my own feelings and be okay with feeling my own feelings. I don't need him to tell me it's okay. Because looking for validation, looking for someone to validate how I'm feeling, nothing can be validated except for like a car ticket, you know? That's what gets validated, is car parking. Our feelings cannot be validated. The only one that can validate our feelings is ourselves. And we cannot expect in a relationship for our partner to feel what we feel.
Right. So, yeah, as I was saying, it's not an understanding, but it's more of an accepting.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where you're at.
Yeah, that's it. And to not try to pull me out, because I know we've had conversations too, like if I feel a certain way, you know, you're not trying to say to me, don't feel that way, or you're not justified in feeling that way, or get over it, or any of that kind of stuff. We now allow each other to feel what we're feeling and to have as long and take as long to process. Now, it isn't like a control thing where I'm going to be like, I'm going to be mad at him for days, and I'm going to use that as manipulation and play a victim and be in control and all that kind of stuff. I genuinely will feel and express my feelings. And then when I'm done at feeling the rage or the anger or whatever it is, the frustration that comes up, that's after I've processed my emotions, then I go and speak with Frederick. Because if I'm coming from rah, he's not going to be able to hear me. All he's going to be able to feel is the pulsation of that.
The intensity of the rage coming at me instead of hearing the words that she's trying to say. Yeah. And often those are issues and conflicts that arise in a couple, is that there's somewhere deep inside one of the partners where there's an issue that's being felt, and it's coming out right away at the other person, which creates a conflict instead of just trying to settle what's inside first and talk about it or write about it, and then
communicate after
together. Yeah. in a more of a peaceful kind of manner. We call it the adult conversation instead of the 4-year-old that's inside just wanting to burst in flames.
Right, throw a temper tantrum.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a big thing for us. We're trying to give you in these podcasts nuggets of pieces of information that will help you along in your whole entire relationship. And one of the biggest things for us is, you know, really look at our own feeling, our own experience, and not have to look outside of ourselves for our partner to feel what we feel, to match how we're feeling, you know, I used to, like I said, to expect him to feel the frustration I was feeling. And not also to change it, to fix it, but to allow me to own my own emotions, you know. That's what's really important is in any relationship, is for me to process my own emotion, not to have to go have him feel it, have him feel what I'm feeling. And that's part of the process of, you know, I could say from a woman's perspective, you need to feel my anger so you understand how I feel. And he still will never understand how I feel because it's me in my own container having my own life experience. You know, the Council of Light, which we're going to introduce in the next couple of shows, they said that our true life partner is not our partner. Our true life partner is our life. The part of us that breathes us, the part of us that is beating our heart, the part of us that is our source and supply of all good things, that is always giving us and making available to us all the stream of energy for abundance and success and perfect health and right relationships and the support and love and everything that we want. That's always available to us. That's our true life partner. He is another human being that I get to co-create with and enjoy this journey with. But if I get this clean and clear here, then what I can give out here is so much more if I'm not connected here. And our emotions, Abraham Hicks calls it that our emotions are our guidance system. It tells us if we're moving towards what we want or what we don't want. And so the lesson today really, and the takeaway for today, is that if you are having extreme emotions, if you're feeling fear, if you're feeling anger, if you're feeling frustration, if you're feeling sadness, loneliness, anything that you're feeling inside of even your relationship, you have to take a step back and ask yourself, what do I want? Instead of focusing on what I don't want, which is going to continue thought processes that are going to make you feel a certain way, because thoughts lead to emotions, emotions lead to obviously the actions that we take and the results that we have. If I'm focused on the thoughts of what I don't want, if I'm in the space of lack, lack is always going to be feeling bad. It always does. It's just it's a universal law. And if you're looking at one side of the spectrum, law of polarity, one side is lack, the other side is abundance. Right in the middle is the place of satisfaction. Right in the middle is sufficiency. It's the law of sufficiency and abundance. Right in the middle is where there's fulfillment. And so if you could start putting your energy, your focus, your attention on what do I want? What am I satisfied? What am I satisfied in my relationship? Where am I satisfied in my life? What do I want? What would satisfy me in my life experience, in all aspects of my life? Now you're focusing your attention, your energy, and therefore your emotions can also be in a place of satisfaction. So that's one of the processes today, is look at what's not working in your life and ask yourself, what do I want?
So could we do something where the person could look at, because if it is easier for that person to look at what they do not want, write it down, and what would be the opposite?
Absolutely. So contrast is what you don't want, and the clarity is what you do want. So if you're focused on what you don't want,
for now, the first steps coming.
Right. You got these emotions coming up. For example, if I feel a whoosh of anger now, it's not because I'm stuck in the set point of anger. I feel a whoosh of anger because someone said something or did something, or a boundary was crossed, or I didn't get what I want. So it's really easy to focus on, I'm not getting what I want, therefore I'm feeling angry. So the next thing, instead of staying stuck on the contrast, is asking yourself, what do I want? What do I want? Why do I want it? And how do I want to feel? Start focusing in that direction, because you'll find that your emotions calm down, you're able to process your emotions, and your point of attraction, your point of focus is going to be now on what you want, on the things that you're satisfied, on the positive aspects of your life, and that will translate into your relationship as well. And then communicate that to your partner. Once you know for yourself, right, I really would prefer to not have drama in my life anymore. I would prefer to not have this person taking care of our kids anymore. I would prefer to not go to Montreal for the entire summer this time. I would prefer to, have more time alone with you. I prefer to go on a date. I want to go on a date. I want to have a night out. I want to have communicate what that is. What your emotions are letting you know. Your emotions are there to inform you that something's going on with you. And if you look at your emotions as a friend, not something you want to push away or suppress or deny or numb out from, which I used to do that, when you really allow yourself to feel your emotions and get the information that it's trying to communicate with you, that your inner being is trying to communicate with you, you get to know yourself. You're more connected to yourself. And when you're more connected to yourself, to your true life partner, then you can connect with your partner on the journey.
Right. And that's awesome what you're saying, because...
Why, thank you.
You're welcome. It leads to also, for the partner that is receiving that, needing to make the space in order to be receptive, right? So number one, make sure that the timing is right.
Yes.
When things like that happen, you want to make sure that you are asking, is this a right time for me to share something that's important to you, so that you're not interrupting another idea that is happening inside the other partner's head, where they're not there to receive you at all. So I think these moments are important moments where timing is of an essence, and so therefore once it's accepted by both parties, the partner is ready to receive you, then what's important is listen. Listen to what's being said and just say, I hear you. I hear what you're saying. And if you want more as the partner receiving that, then I would say, or you could say something like, can you be more specific? Why don't you want her to be the babysitter anymore? Instead of, oh my God, are you serious?
Or, okay.
So, or, all right, yeah. So those are good ways to come about in order to expand on that conversation.
And we're actually going to talk about timing, and that is another tool. It's another aspect. So for today, it's really looking at yourself. What do you want? Why do you want it? How do you want to feel? And Frederick, absolutely correct, is that we've learned this in our relationship. Timing is everything. When you're ready to communicate with your partner, just for now until we go into the next podcast, is coming to him or coming to her and saying, hey, I have something I want to share with you. See how I'm using the I have something I want to share with you. Is now a good time? And then that person could say, actually, can you give me 5 minutes? Or no, what is it?
Do it tomorrow.
Or what is it about? Because he'll come to me and what we used to do, and again, we're going to do this in another podcast, is he would just start talking to me about something, and I'm like, oh my God, I was just about to go to sleep, and now you're talking to me about accounting, right? Not a good time. So now I might come to him and say, and I used to go, hey, I need to talk to you about this. And he thought it meant now. Like, I need to talk. And he's like, I can't handle that now. So now we just check in before we just say, hey, I need to talk to you about something. I'll come to him and say, hey, I want to share something with you about the podcast. Or, hey, I want to share something to you about Alex's parent-teacher conference. Is now a good time? And he'll say, no, I'm in the middle of doing this. Can you give me 5 minutes? Great. So we negotiate on our time and what is the correct time? What is the right time for each person? Because if I'm da-da-da-da-da-da and he's not ready to receive me.
My mind is not there, then I won't understand. I won't hear her at all.
And I won't feel heard. So I really want him to hear me, and it's important, because we've had conversations in the past where it's like, well, I told you that. You told me that?
Yeah,
it
goes into the empty drawer. Right, men? We all have this empty drawer where if we're doing something else, we don't want to be bothered by anything else, whether we're in front of the TV sometimes, right? It's like there's this shutting off, right? So don't come to us when there's a situation when we're playing something or watching TV or right?
Reading something or preparing.
There's a disconnect that happens, and all of a
see,
sudden,
women, we don't have that. We could multitask, right? Which is not necessarily healthy either, but
for us, it goes in the emptiness.
Yeah. So in order for you to feel heard, check in with your partner. Is this a good time to express something I want to share with you? There's something I come to you all the time and I say that, hey, I just had a realization. Can I share this with you? Is this a good time? And sometimes you'll say, yeah, I'm good,
Right.
Or I'm about to eat lunch. Can you sit with me? Or, hey, let me make this, I have to return a phone call first. And then, so then I know that when we do sit down, I have his full undivided attention. I'm not going into his empty drawer. I didn't know.
It triggers the drawer of the memory. Once I say, yes, I'm ready. Click.
You're so funny. So we would love to know, what are you taking away from today? And we want to know, what are you having struggles or challenges in your relationship and that you want some more information? It's our job on this Conscious Connect and Coupling podcast to help give you things that have worked in our relationship and to help you really get tools and strategies and things to help you move along. And so I'm just so happy to be able to do this with you and that you said yes, and just very grateful to be here with you. So,
well, I'm grateful as well to be able to do this with you in a creative, loving kind of way. It's brand new for us for this experience, and I'm loving the journey so far, and I'm hoping that you are as well.
Absolutely. So stay tuned. Next week we will talk about timing. So until then, have an amazing week, everybody.
See you soon.
Thanks for listening to Conscious Coupling with Frederick Gobet and Christy Whitman. If you like our show and want to know more, check out ChristyWhitman.com. And please leave us a review on iTunes. Learn how to turn your partner into your soulmate. Join us again next week for another powerful episode.